Well, here's a cautionary tale for all you drivers out there after a CTV News Toronto story about an Ontario woman who was stunned after being told to pay out of pocket for a chain reaction crash.
Sorry, we'll exchange information. I said to him, okay. I went back to my car to retrieve my information. By the time I got out my car in a split second, he already gone.
So Naisha Brown had been stopped at a red light last month when a dark-colored pickup truck crashed into the back of her Honda Civic. But since the truck didn't stay on the scene, and also the fact that she dropped her auto collision coverage, she'd been left with an $8,000 repair bill just to fix the back of her car. Now, joining us now live with more on this is Anne-Marie Thomas from the Insurance Bureau of Canada, Director of Consumer and Industry Relations. Anne-Marie, so glad you're here this morning to talk more about this. You know, some people think, maybe to save a few bucks, I'll take that collision off my vehicle. How risky is that, and what are some of the potential pitfalls of that?
So, I'm really glad that you're bringing light to this story, because it's very important for consumers to understand what coverage they have and the risks that they take if they remove that coverage. Collision and comprehensive are not mandatory coverages, only liability is. And you run the risk, in very rare cases, in the event of an at-fault accident, are you not covered? And a hit and run is one of them. By virtue of how, no fault is set up, in order for no fault insurance to apply, it means that each insured car has to have coverage, be identified, and be in Ontario. And unfortunately, in that case, none of those things applied.
Yeah, it was an interesting case. It was a story that aired on CTV News Toronto a couple of days ago. Pat Foran Consumer reported. Interestingly, Naisha Brown was able to source the video, sort of surveillance video of the crash happening. But that even isn't necessarily enough. You really need the plates, you need the license information. What else do you need if something like this happens to you to try to make sure, regardless of your insurance status, that you can in fact make sure that you're not on the hook for something you're not responsible for?
Yeah, so definitely see if there are any witnesses. Get any information from the area that you can. This woman was, clever in that she got the video. All of that is really important when it comes down to trying to identify this vehicle. Because as we saw in this case, if the vehicle is not identified and you have no collision coverage, you could be on the hook for it, which is really important for all of us to know. But it's especially important if your vehicle is financed or you're on a lease, because most leases or finance agreements stipulate that you must carry, physical damage coverage. So what that means is, in the event of an accident, your lender will get paid by your insurance company. If you don't, you're on the hook for, your damage plus any outstanding loan to the lender.
Right.
So it's important.
Yeah, you could feel like maybe you're saving a few bucks in the short term, and in the long run, it could certainly harm you. Anne-Marie, only got about 30 seconds left here, but what are the general recommendations in terms of what level of liability you should have and what sort of deductible you should look at to try to make sure your premium is kind of manageable? Because some people take it off because they feel like they can't afford their premiums.
Right. So the majority of Canadians and Ontarians have $1 million liability. A lot of people have collision at a $500 deductible, and comprehensive. Comprehensive covers your, theft and vandalism. Really think about it. Is it worth the amount that you save for the risk that you could be taking? Have that conversation with your insurance professional before you make these kinds of decisions. What are you risking by removing that coverage?
Yeah, those are great questions to ask and a good conversation to have. Anne-Marie Thomas, thanks for having this conversation with us this morning from the Insurance Bureau of Canada. Take care. We'll talk soon.
Thank you. Bye-bye.